and welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Emerald Hill and I've lost over 100 pounds, and this is where I review what I eat in a day as a fat girl, but this is a part of my new series reviewing what other ex-fat girls review. Let's get into it. We got a new person here today. We have Lot Lifts. Let's look at what her description says. She lifts weights and owns a purple bin. Good enough. Let's do it. Let's check out one of her videos. 3 takeaways in one day. Let's do that one. Well, right off the hop, it looks like she has a better microphone than I do, so that's very cool. She also has a better chair that I'm very jealous of.
And I used to be really fucking fat. Not really that fat.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, good for you. So she's got her pump going, and it looks like she's very tattooed. Maybe that is the trick, because the last person was also very tattooed. Maybe that's the trick to losing 100 pounds, is like you have to replace it with 100 pounds of ink.
Hello, cherubs! Listen, I feel like I'm losing my mind.
I feel like I'm also losing my mind because I can't understand a single word that you're saying. We're dealing with an accent today, which I'm in love with. Let's start it again. Where are we?
Hi, my name's Lot, and I used to be really fucking fat. Not really that fat anymore, though. Hello, cherubs! Listen, I feel like
Hello cherubs or something like that. I don't know.
I'm losing my mind a little bit this week. I didn't put a video out over the weekend because I'm taking part in someone's master's study about how menstruation affects weightlifting in, obviously, people with uteruses. I was busy this weekend because I was getting inducted into that.
Oh, very cool. And I wonder if that is actually the true nature of the experiment. That's the beautiful thing about them, is figuring out what you tell people so that they do exactly what you need them to do, while not actually creating bias because they don't know exactly what you're actually experimenting.
And we're gonna do the fan favourite, and we're gonna look at what I eat in a day as a fat person.
Oh, that's exciting. Oh my god, I'm not gonna do it because I feel like that's gonna be really rude. Fan favorite, what I eat in a day as a fat girl.
It's our favourite. I think we just crack on. But before we crack on with today's video, are you getting cracked this Valentine's Day? I'm not, because Liverpool's decided to put a fucking fixture at 8 PM on the 14th, and I will be watching. However, my friends at Balesa have very kindly sent me through some more wonderful products that I get to share with you guys. So don't worry. If you're like me and the roster is pissed off because you're going to watch the footy on Valentine's Day instead of going dinner or going bowling, Balesa's got you covered. My friends at Balesa and I
call bullshit. I think watching footy was a mutual agreement.
are literally sending out free toys or gift cards for toys to everyone that signs up for my gift.
Oh, very interesting. We got a toy ad. I was wondering why there wasn't any pictures going with the ad. That makes sense. So why don't we just skip the plug and get right into it.
Personally, I like the thump quite a lot. It is the toy that does it all. It vibrates, it sucks, it thumps.
My family is in the next room. What is happening?
And it's waterproof.
I found that section hurts, but I don't know. Let's move on.
This is a smaller creator in terms of platform, so that's not me being patronizing, that's just genuinely like she's got 1,000 followers.
Oh, I'm smaller than the small creator. So let's see what we have today. I'm really sorry about me doing the accent. I love this accent, and it's gonna wiggle its way in anywhere that I lose my inhibitions.
But this video I got tagged in has 157,000 views. We're gonna look at it. I got tagged in it by Abs. Thank you, Abs. Let's do it, kittens.
I said I'd start my diet today, but anyways, here's what I eat in a day as a human vacuum. Starting off strong with some
Do you know what? At least you're honest. In a person, I really value honesty. So I appreciate you saying that you were going to start a diet today, but you're not going to. Thank you for that.
day KFC, can't go wrong.
Well, that's really cute. I think that this person likes her humor. She's laughing a lot, so that's really good. Obviously, also this person who is providing us with the what I eat in a day also has a pretty good sense of humor, and that is just a recipe for success.
And if you know me, you know that I absolutely live for a good KFC, honey. Honestly, I'm starting to understand mukbangers, or whatever they're called, because, you know, I stuff my face for free. I can only imagine getting paid for it, darling.
I thought the same thing. When I was big, when I started seeing mukbangs, and then when I lost a bunch of weight and I still kind of watch them, I was like, I could be so good at this. I could be so amazing at this because I can pack it away. And then every time that I was like, maybe I should, then I was like, no, that's just like a recipe for disaster. That's going to be terrible. I don't know what my opinion is on mukbangs. I can't watch them because it just motivates me to go out and obviously do that or just eat on my own, which isn't very good for me. Other people see it as like a motivator to eat as well, and that's good for them. Some people see it and they think, no, I shouldn't go out of my way to do that because I can't stand the look of this. So it really just depends on what your interpretation is of it. And if you're the person doing it, if it's harmful, then it's harmful and it's bad. And if it's not harmful, then wow, good for you. You earned that AdSense. That's amazing. Exactly what she was saying. It's good just to be honest. Like, if you're honestly like, I really want to try it, yeah, that's a good part of honesty. And you also have to accept the other part of honesty, which is, and it might be really bad for me. You could be really good at something, but it could also be a huge detriment to you.
Anyways,
And that, my girl, is the slippery slope that all too often we see in this community. 12 p.m. and going for your KFC, Sean. You're not really telling us what you have in your KFC, though. Some chicken, a burger, chips.
I love that. Can we just get back to the meat of the issue? What are you eating? Same.
Wings. It looks like one of those, like, one of the combo boxes you can get at KFC. See, this is what worries me, is that obviously, evidently she has an issue with food. If her, she's a self-proclaimed human vacuum cleaner, she obviously is someone who is not of a healthy BMI, right? I understand that this content brings in a mass amount of views for lots of different reasons. My hypothesis is that this kind of content brings in so many views for morbid curiosity, because people can't fathom having takeaway 3 times a day or eating so much in one day. Or the second reason, to feel better about themselves. It's like, well, I eat bad, but at least I don't eat this bad. The third being like people using it as inspo to not eat, which I know is quite common as well. Like, you see a lot of comments being like, instead of hinging, I watch these videos. None of those reasons are good. None of those reasons are good. I watch for morbid curiosity. When I was fat, I watched because it made me feel validated in the choices I was making, because I won't lie, when I was at my biggest, when I was still working hospitality, my days usually consisted of either a Greg's breakfast, which if you don't know is a chain bakery in the UK, a Greg's breakfast, some sort of instant noodle on my break, whatever I could like shove in my face in the back by the bins on a smoke break, because I don't smoke, but I pretended to smoke so I could have extra breaks. And then when I get home from work, stopping by the Mackies, because I lived literally 3 streets away from a McDonald's. Watching these videos then was like, okay, well, I'm not the only person that eats like this and lives like this.
I used to live in the UK, and I completely understand. I found that there were just so many options for takeaways, and the culture around takeaways was just implemented all the time. And I was in college during that time, so it was just kind of like quadruply enforced, because that's just what you do when you're in college. And then also, what was she saying? Yeah, absolutely. There's that, what is the purpose behind actually posting these what I eat in a day? Is it actually to gain like a supportive community? What is the purpose behind it? And I think that at the end of the day, it's just, right, like there are different forms of attention seeking, and at some point, like, what's a cry for help, or what's just, God, I'm hungry, I didn't bring my ninja ice cream, maybe I should have. That morbid curiosity in and of itself, like, what is actually going to happen if I show the world my dark secret?
None of these reasons are good. None of these reasons are good. And then the slippery pipeline of like, okay, this draws a lot of attention, draws a lot of views, and I can get paid for it. You're just asking for trouble. You know what I mean? You're just literally asking for trouble. And I understand that money is necessary to live. Like, I get it. Like, I know. I grew up very poor. Got my first job when I was allowed to at 15. I worked in the Primark before going then to Food Run when I was 16. Before then.
Oh yeah, and she's also saying about how she worked in the food industry, and I completely understand. As a server, as somebody who worked in the kitchen, and as a comedian actually, a form of payment is food. And a lot of the time when you're getting paid in food, you don't want to say like, oh, well, can I have like a handful of lettuce? You know, like, can I have a salad? You want to be like, hey, can I have the best thing that we have on the menu? Because you want to get like your worth out of it. You want to be paid in the best whatever there is on the menu. So, or whatever it is where you're working, or, you know, the most decadent thing or the richest thing, right? Like as a dishwasher, I kind of had like the worst job. So a payment for that would be like, oh, well, you get to have, you know, you get to scrape out the gelato bin because, you know, you have to wash it and you have to do the sucky job. So you get the, you know, beautiful morsels of gelato. Or I was also the dessert prep. So I got to have little pieces of the boca, which is a flourless chocolate cake made with 3 different kinds of chocolate, right? And bourbon. So I got to kind of like be in that space of, well, standing around food all day, and it's, you know, really good food. So it's very enticing. And then there's also that kind of double down on the culture of, and we're paying you extra in food. Like you're being tipped in food. So it is really hard to kind of start to turn away from it and say, no, like this extra form of payment, I'm going to turn down. That's basically what you're doing. And what I felt like I was doing, especially as like a bigger person working in that industry. And so then it really took like taking myself away from it and being like, okay, I really can't just be around food all the time and the best kinds of it and expect myself to be able to stick to the diet, right? So that's a really good point.
Waitressing, before then bartending and so on and so forth, working all the way through uni. And, you know, I've had side jobs on top of my full-time work since I've been a full-time STEM girly. Like, I've tutored, I've done other bits and bobs. Like, it's money is necessary. I understand why some may go here to earn money. Is it worth your life? Is it worth your health? Being obese steals your life away from you. And I don't just mean the length of your life. It steals years off you in terms of your length of your life. But also, like, your day-to-day life, your ability to partake in things like, I don't know, going out with friends and family, being able to just walk around comfortably, sit down comfortably, going to theme parks, going to get on a plane.
Well, and I think that that is a really good point and a really good insight into what this person might be experiencing on that side of money, right? Like, wow, you feel like you're in that place, in such a low place that you have to do this to potentially earn money through AdSense or TikTok or whatever. And I think that that's really sad. Like, I think that that's saying like the only thing that I'm good for is eating. The only thing that I'm good at and have a skill in is eating a lot of food on camera. And I think that that's something that could be interpreted as that cry for help, right? Like, why does this person feel like the only thing that they can do is that?
Doing activities like bowling or mini golf, you know, just like living as a person. It also steals those times away from you because you're so hyperfixated on what you look like. And also, if you're not really asked about that, even though I believe you probably are, you are uncomfortable the entire time. Like,
it's hard to find things to do that you feel comfortable at and that you actually can do. A lot of people, at least when I talk to other adults, it really seems like, yeah, but I can't do anything because it costs money. Yeah, but I can't go to mini golf because it costs money. I can't go to bowling because it costs money. So then that thing, that fun activity, that adventure turns into, well, what can I afford? And so then the bowling is now like $50 just to pay for yourself and your family to go together because you're not going to do that on your own. Turn that around to, well, what can I spend on my own so that I feel like I had fun and my life is like, you know, has something exciting to it that isn't going to cost $50 that I can do on my own. Well, that's going through a drive-through and getting a special deal because it's really not a deal. It's very expensive. But that kind of turns into the event. The event is getting a drive-through thing on your own as opposed to having to pick everybody up and get in the car and go to the bowling alley and spend $1 million, right? It's really good to kind of look at, well, what can they do instead? Like, what can you do instead of spending money if that really is the issue? Because I think that that's the the thing that people kind of use as an excuse. Well, I actually really want to spend $30 on takeout food. I don't want to spend $30 standing in a place where I feel uncomfortable around a bunch of screaming kids that are staring at me, right? So it's really good to start again with that honesty thing. Like, why aren't you choosing to spend your money on that as opposed to this?
I remember being at my biggest and feeling everything bunch up when I'd, bend over to pick up a bowling ball or whatever, or my thighs rubbing together and having to use fucking liquid talc to stop my thighs bleeding. It's a slippery slope, my girl. Sorry for that little tangent. It was a slippery slope.
I completely understand that 1000%. Like, you think, I live in a tourist town. You think that walking around in the summertime is just something that you do. But at my biggest, it was literally torture because, like, I have stretch marks on my thighs, and then my thighs would rub together and it would chafe and it would be awful. And, like, you think, like, oh, that's awful for you, but it's awful for your whole family because it's like, you have to be honest and say, like, I need accommodations for this. And then it's stressful. It is very hard. Like, you think that doing something that is just like an everyday thing that you get to normally do actually causes a lot of distress because of these things that you're dealing with.
Anyways, look at this cute little mini fillet burger. Ain't she just adorable? Obviously by now you'll realise that I do quite like a Red Bull. And apparently no cuisine was safe with me today. I followed my heart and my heart wanted everything. Diet starts Monday, I swear. And can we just take a minute for that curry sauce? Oh,
This was me when I was in the UK. Felt really tired all of the time. I was like going on in energy drinks and stuff like that. I just felt just so low, lonely and like depressed and like empathizing with this woman.
So yummy.
Looks like baby shit. No brekkie. And I know every time I say they've had no breakfast, I always get someone in my comments going, well, actually, I don't eat breakfast and I'm okay. Right, listen.
Again with the finger in the air and the nasally high-pitched voice. Where is that from? What comedy, anime, or whatever are people getting that from? Why do we keep doing that?
Not everything's about you. And that's okay. In general, breakfast is good. It ensures that you don't hinge later on.
Now that's really true. Well, I don't like breakfast. I don't want to eat breakfast, but then why do you keep hinging or binging later on? It's those food rules that we have in our mind. Well, I'm okay here, so it doesn't affect me there. Well, why don't you experiment with yourself and see, is it actually not affecting you there? Is not having breakfast actually not making a pathway into this later on in the day? Why don't you try having breakfast, right? Why don't you try? Because, like, if something's wrong, try different ways to fix it. I don't know.
It sets you up for your day with nice, slow release energy. Keeps you full, keeps you satiated. Doesn't mean you're starving hungry by lunchtime and eating a family meal at KFC. So she went ahead, no brekkie, 12 p.m. at a KFC. Nothing then until 6 o'clock when she's got a Chinese. And do you know what the really interesting part about this is? It doesn't look like that much food, and she's not eating often, right? But I can guarantee here she's eating above her maintenance calories from anywhere between 500 and 1500 depending on what.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so sad. Like, unfortunately, that lunch that she had alone was probably worth a whole day, and now we're having dinner. So it's just really unfortunate when you start to realize how these fast food things really take up your entire allotted daily calorie intake. And when you think to yourself, okay, well, I'm just not gonna have breakfast and I'm gonna go and have a big lunch at McDonald's, and it's gonna be a big salad. Big salads are really inconvenient to eat in your car, right? Anything with a fork in your car is really inconvenient to eat. Even a sandwich that's really sloppy, at least you can contain it to your hand in some way. But with a fork, you have to have the plate on your car seat or something. But even this, like, convenience trumps everything. Having breakfast in the morning to make you less hungry in the afternoon just makes everything more convenient and easier for you to eat a small portion of the healthy thing that you brought and not make you feel like, okay, I gotta go and get something and it has to be convenient. It can't be a salad because salads are inconvenient, right? You're just kind of negating all of the roadblocks that are going to come up. This arm is very active today. This arm is getting a workout in today. Let's start talking with this arm to get some even muscle growth happening.
What she actually had with the KFC, because she didn't show how many fillets and stuff she had there. And then with a Chinese, once you start incorporating fucking sauces and stuff, it's fucking game over, baby. We all know sauces are the root of all evil. JK, love garlic sauce. One of my favourite garlic sauces is the garlic and herb one from Domino's. But my point is that they're very calorific. So by the standard, she's probably thinking, oh, I've not eaten that much today. I only had that at lunchtime. But, you know, anyway, let's see.
And honestly, what is a Chinese without a good prawn cracker?
I don't know what it is about the prawns over there. They got prawns and they abuse them. Oh my god. They have prawn gummies over there. What are you doing? It's incredible. They also like banana flavored stuff. It's just, I don't know.
Count on with a good Chinese is you'll always have leftovers for breakfast. So really, it's a win-win. And all I can say is look at that chicken ball. Oh, I just love a good chicken ball.
You know what? That's actually something that my dentist said to me too. He was like, hey, if you're gonna have like Christmas chocolate and stuff, just keep it to one day so that you're not constantly exposing your teeth to sugars over like a course of a long period of time, because that's what's gonna cause the majority of the breakdown of your teeth. And I think that it's kind of the same with diets and stuff too. Like if you really feel the need to have that kind of day, then that's what you're gonna do, because I know the feeling of not being able to stop myself. But the set for success is when at the end of the night, 2 a.m, and you're done, you throw everything away so that the next day you can just start off fresh and not feel the need, well, I have leftovers and I spent money on it, so I don't want to waste my money. And then you have a bit for breakfast and then it kind of rolls into, okay, I'll just get more takeout for the rest of the day and stuff like that. And so you're really kind of setting yourself up for failure if you allow yourself to have the Chinese food for breakfast the next day.
Your go-to order from the Chinese. I love a good fried rice, mate. And let's not forget the prawn toast and the satay sauce. Oh, honestly, if a Chinese does a good satay sauce, I know I'm in for a treat, mate. And big shout out to my mum for putting me on satay sauce, mate. Oh, amazing. And yeah,
She's having another Red Bull, full sugar, at 6 p.m.
Is that the full of sugar one or is that the diet one? I thought it was the diet one.
yes, surprise, surprise, another Red Bull. Ended up
No, you're right. It was a full sugar Red Bull at 6 p.m. My skin would just feel so... Does anybody else feel that when you have an energy drink, that your skin is just like an extra flavor of greasy that day?
eating about half of my rice, so not too bad if I say so myself. Of course, had to throw a couple buenos in there as well. It is cheat day after all. And for the sake of this video, let's pretend that
Cheat day has wiped out the last 2 weeks of effort that we put in, unfortunately. That is so sad. Big McDonald's lunch, big Chinese dinner, 2 chocolate bars at the end of the night.
day isn't every day, okay? Thank you very much. Gotta love it.
I remember Space Raiders. I really liked, that's the beef flavor. I liked sour cream and onion one. That was my favorite. I remember that. I'm having a little memory. I was at Comics Anonymous and they had those because it was like a space themed bar in a basement. Oh, I miss that so much.
Space Raider and all. Literally only the beef ones though. The rest of the flavours I absolutely can't stand.
Incorrect. The best Space Raiders flavour is pickled onion, and I will have no fucking...
Best space flavor is sour cream and onion.
Just love the flavour, what can I say? Oh, and you thought I was joking when I said my heart and everything. No. Last but not least,
No
a beautiful
way.
mixed on a kebab.
Oh my god, she had another thing! I thought she was done! I thought we were going to bed!
Because why have just one when you can have lamb and chicken? And as you can see...
Oh my god! And it's like a double doozy. She has a lamb and chicken shawarma. Wow! I'm completely blown out of the water. She's obviously completely blown out of the water. I can't believe it. So we had a McDonald's thing, and then we had the Chinese takeaway that we said we were having for breakfast the next day, and now we're having a double kebab on a bunch of fries. Incredible. Wow!
See, I really did myself and ate pretty much all of it, so well worth it if you ask me. And that's everything that...
Oh, and now we're twins. Look, we're sharing the same eye makeup. My blue eyeshadow skills has not improved since elementary school. Maybe I should take some lessons from her, but oh my god, what a day. Wow. That was an impact, I gotta tell you.
ate today, honey. Bye.
3 takeaways in one day. I'm not a believer in cheat days. Before you jump down my neck, I'm a believer in 80-20, 90-10. For most days of the week, I eat the same thing every day. I know some people fucking hate the idea of doing that, but for me, it takes away any decision fatigue or decision paralysis. And decision fatigue and decision paralysis leads to me delaying those decisions, which means I...
Absolutely. When I was trying to get the groove, I was like, I'm trying to make a new recipe every day. I'm trying a different kind of cauliflower, coconut flour, almond flour, whatever kind of flour pizza. Every Saturday was awful. And like, it is exhausting. And so it's really good to just have your staple kind of meat and potatoes meal, and then every once in a while try something new. I also don't agree with the cheat day thing, because I find that I really put the cheat day up on a pedestal and I go overboard on the cheat day, and that's not very good. And that's also not very reminiscent of how life really works. You can't really plan for the cheat day to be the same day as the, surprise thing that you're going to, because it's a surprise. You have to kind of make those little accommodations with yourself. So I agree. I think that that's a really great tactic to kind of have like an 80-20 or 90-10 sort of deal with yourself.
I'm more likely to overeat or give in to ordering a takeaway. So being able to just know what I'm eating and not really think about it, and it's delicious anyway, and I know it's hitting my macros, I know it's hitting what I need to fuel my day, I don't have to think about it. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy a Nando's. Nando's, and I sound like fucking Anna now, is like, we will order a Nando's. I don't care, man. Shoot me. I eat lentils and fucking tuna every other day of the week. If I fancy a Nando's once a month, I'm going to have a Nando's ordered to my house once a month so I can sit at my PC, scran my Nando's watching Bridgerton, push it to the side and start playing Valorant and D-rank.
We've got a gamer girl up in here.
I live by the 80-20, 90-10 rule, where most of my diet, 90%, 80% of the time, is whole foods and is mostly the same meals over and over again. I still will partake in life's joys. Like, I still will have a chalky digestive. Like, I was really fancying chalky digestives last week. So do you know what I did? Went and got a packet of chalky digestives and had one or two. That's a really big thing for me, because when I was a hinger, I would have eaten that whole packet in one sitting. Now I've...
Absolutely, 1000%. Anytime that there's like a craving, it's like, okay, and now I have to finish the whole thing, and it can't bleed into the next day. You have to get over getting the thing and having it the next day and just continuing the cycle of binging. You have to be able to say, okay, I'm just gonna have one or two, and then the next day, maybe I'll have it, and it won't even matter. But it's very hard to get to that place of feeling like it doesn't matter and feeling okay with them sitting in the cupboard and you not gorging on them. It takes a long time to be able to say like, okay, I'm just going to have that portion and I'm not going to have the entire thing.
Built that resilience within myself to be able to say no to myself, and the trust with myself that this doesn't mean no forever. This just means no right now.
That's huge. Good point. Trust in yourself. Like, it's so hard to be able to say like, yeah, but am I actually really going to be able to stop myself? Right? And it's that honesty that you have to be honest with yourself and say like, no, I'm not going to be able to trust myself because this is something I really struggle with. And then it's that, beautiful feeling of success when you're able to turn to yourself and say, yeah, I actually trust you to be able to uphold the agreement that we have based on our new belief system and our new values, which is we don't eat the entire packet of cookies, the entire pint of ice cream all in one go. But it takes a lot of work, you're right.
And that's okay. One or two is fine. It's enjoyable. And I found that I actually look forward to it more and appreciate it more when they are in this, like, it is actually seen as a treat. Maybe that someone's going to call me orthorexic. Fine, okay, sure, why not? But I'd rather limit myself to 2 digestive bickies in a day than eat like this again.
And that's really good. That's something that I've kind of been feeling in myself. What I saw in Honey Bison, Greg Doucette, and now Lot Lifts is kind of acknowledging you might have pent up feelings or upsetness or worry or concern about this, but I'm going to let you know that relax because I'm relaxed and this is how I go about it. I think that a huge part of being someone who has lost a lot of weight and who talks about these things is calming other people's anxiety. That was the biggest thing about learning in myself, was how to calm my own anxieties. And now I'm kind of starting to see it really is like peeing on the back of your shoulder. Hey, what about this? And you're just like, and instead of being that person that has to be like, hey, You have to actually hold that person's hand. No, it's okay. No, I get it. I get that there's a lot of concern. I get that there's a lot of scared feelings around this, but guess what? This is how I'm dealing with it, and this is how I'm handling it. I know, it's kind of like you're realizing like all of those comments that are like, but what about this? But what about this thing that you said that someone could interpret this way? Is actually that person growing. You're actually seeing that person doing a self-reflective thing. They're just kind of like putting it at you, and you get to choose if you respond to it or not to be that person that quells and calms that anxiety of. I'm really grateful that you brought up that point. Let me just calm your anxiety around that. It's a huge part of all of this, of the videos and talking to people, is just calming other people's anxiety. Like, yeah, it is gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that thing over there, yeah, don't worry about that thing.
Very similarly, 2-3 takeaways in one day is fucking abominable. And also, like, one of my big things about this is like, how the fuck are you guys affording this? Not to bring—
Yes, exactly. Like, we're going back to, well, I can't afford to go to bowling. I can't afford to go to mini golf. But we just got 3 different takeaways, and now it looks like we're doing our makeup to go out somewhere. So where is the money going?
Not to bring the video back to money or anything, because I feel quite comfortable in my life now. I've worked very hard to have the job I have, and I feel quite comfortable now. But a takeaway isn't even that cheap anymore. You used to be able to get like a Chinese in the UK. You'd be able to get a Chinese takeaway, feed the family for like 15 quid. You can't do that anymore. You can't. So where the fuck? You've probably spent like £45 on your food all day to here today. Maybe and some if you want to add in, you know, the delivery fee and whatever. My food shop for 2 adults goes from anywhere between 60 and like £100-ish. It really just depends like on what that, because you know when you run out of olive oil and shit like that and it just ruins your entire week. But on average, like our food shop for this week was 60 quid. Our entire worth of eating, probably about how much this day cost this girl. This was sent to me by Ava. So Ava sent me this link. Thank you, Ava.
Thanks, Ava. That's awesome. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like when you start to come around to those lies that you used to tell yourself, oh, but eating healthy is more expensive than eating the way that I do. It's a lie. It's not true. Especially right now, eating out, I think, is actually more expensive than eating healthy, but that's just because I don't eat out that much anymore. Yeah. Well, I think that is the end for right now for lot lifts, because this video is an hour long and that was just one person. So I think we're going to cut it off there. Well, this person is a lovely person and they look like they have a lot of hobbies. They look like they like vinyl, very interesting, Van Gogh, and mushrooms. Very good. Oh, and look, they do have a purple bin. All right, lid, lot lifts. All right, lid. This person likes their L's, but they're not a loser. All right, well, thanks so much, lot lifts, and thanks so much to you for tuning in. And I appreciate you being here. Please leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe. That would be sick. Thanks so much, and bye for now.